Hey Ricardo, it's movie night. You need to pick out a movie. I'm cooking right now. What are we gonna watch? We watched Sonic Christmas Blast. We just watched that last night. Yeah, we could do like Sonic OVA. And the night before. Sonic X. Also the night before. Sonic X. Why don't we watch one of the Sonic movies? There's so many options. Maybe. We could watch the Sonic 2 movie collection. Nah, not really into it. We could watch Sonic 1 on Blu-ray. No. We could watch Sonic 1 Limited Collector's Edition. We could watch Sonic 1 on 4K Ultra HD. No. We could watch Sonic 2 on Blu-ray. Okay. Hey, you might like this one. We could watch Sonic Movie 2, and then after, we could read the limited edition comic book. Nah. Okay. You just want to watch Sonic Movie 2 on 4K Ultra HD? Hey, stop all that, man. We could just watch Sonic Movie 1 Easter Edition on DVD. Okay, I'm gonna finish making the popcorn. Hey, what's up everyone, it's me, SpeedSuperSonic, for you guys another video. In this video today, I wanted to do this little discussion video because I've had this thought flowing through my head for a while that doesn't really get raised a lot, but I think is worth discussing because I think it's very pivotal for the future of Sonic the Hedgehog and could determine a lot of things for this franchise going forward. Obviously, we are now living in the world of the Sonic the Hedgehog cinematic universe where we have two Sonic the Hedgehog movies as it stands right now, Sonic 1 and 2. And then we're about to get Knuckles, the spin-off TV series, later this year. So that's kind of crazy. It's our first ever live-action Sonic the Hedgehog series, and it's not even about Sonic, it's about Knuckles, an entirely different character, so that's very exciting on its own. But then we're getting Sonic Movie 3 the following year, which is next year in December as of right now. We'll see if that date changes or not. Point is, this thing has been going on for a while now. We're around 4 years into this, getting a project almost every year. It's been very exciting, and it's done amazing things for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. I don't think we'd be in the position that we are if it wasn't for the movie. I don't think Prime would exist in the way it is right now or would have been as successful as it was if it wasn't for the Sonic movie. I don't think that the games would be getting the priority and the treatment that they are receiving right now, whether it's Frontiers or Superstars, if it wasn't for the movie. You wouldn't be seeing all the merchandise in stores, which is probably one of the biggest turnarounds. Sonic is just bigger and better than ever. It's the most popular the franchise has been since the 90s. I think there are arguments to be made that this is actually the most popular and culturally significant that the franchise has ever been, and I give all of the thanks to the Sonic movies. But now we have Sonic Movie 3 ahead, and that's really the last, at least announced, Sonic movie universe project that we really have. But then there's the question of, will it be the last one? Will this mark the end of the Sonic movie universe as it stands? Or, like a lot of people, at least right now, from what I see, think that it could continue to go. I don't really see people bring up the question of the idea of maybe 3 being the last one. Us not really receiving a Sonic movie, at least in the form that the Sonic movies have been in the state that it is. And it's a question that I've raised from time to time, although very minor parts of some previous Sonic Movie 3 videos that we've done on this channel. I think it's an important question to ask because it's very significant, like I said. This has not only been insanely successful for Sonic as a brand as a whole, but also for Sega, also for Paramount. It's one of their most popular and lucrative franchises right now. As it stands right now, like the second Sonic movie is going toe-to-toe, like actually has more, as of right now, than the newest Transformers movie has at the worldwide box office. And keep in mind that movie is still in its box office run, so it could eventually surpass Sonic, but the point being, Sonic is going toe-to-toe with was, or actually still is, Paramount's biggest property, and that's Transformers. That's impressive. There's plenty of incentive on Paramount's part to have this continue to go, and really it's up to them if they want this to go or not. I don't think Sega, unless they were absolutely stupid, would stop this partnership or stop this very popular and well-liked series. Everybody's making money. It's very liked by everybody, general audiences, and the fan base likes it too. It really just comes down to how much it grosses at the end of the day. And while yes, the Sonic movies aren't making Avatar money, they're making money. Sonic Movie 2 was a $400 million movie. Sonic Movie 1, which was impacted by a pandemic, was a $300 million movie. And keep in mind, Sonic Movie 2 was having pandemic hangover. So imagine what a completely pandemic-less Sonic movie could do at the box office with no competition. We talked about this a while ago in our last Sonic Movie 3 update. There is still competition for Sonic Movie 3 as it stands right now with Thunderbolts. I know a lot of people are saying that they're not really worried about it. I think it would be safest if there was no competition because the past two Sonic movies had none on their release date. Surrounding, yes, but at the same time, they weren't really that large. I think the biggest could be maybe a Fantastic Beasts sequel, but Sonic eventually regained the first place slot the weekend after, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. The movies have found their audience. They have a positive track record with the general public. They like these movies, the kids like the movies, I think the parents do, and obviously the Sonic fans are going to show up in droves to go see it. As long as Sonic Movie 3 is quality, and it is good, and them having Shadow in the movie very much so does help, we should be good to go. If the movie doesn't make more than Sonic Movie 2, I don't think that spells disaster if it makes less than the first. That's when it's starting to panic. I don't see any reason why it would outside of it being drowned out by a major Marvel release or something like that. If this thing can reach the 400 millions again, maybe even $500 million with 500 million, I think that's very good news and wouldn't really give them any reason to stop. Do I think they have a plan beyond 3? No, I don't really even know if they had a plan for 3 making the first movie. And now here's the thing, I think Sonic Movie 3 will make money. I think it's going to do good. It has the same crew working on it, but then you have the question of where do we go beyond there? Is there going to be Sonic the Hedgehog 4? No. In my opinion, I think that the Sonic movie franchise is going to look very different post-Sonic Movie 3. Now you might be saying, well, Ricardo, you said you don't see it ending, but what do you mean? You don't, what's going on? I think the Sonic movies will continue to go, but not at the state that they currently are in. I think that there will be a new team, because simply Jeff Fowler and Patrick Casey and Josh Miller at that point will have been making Sonic movies and Sonic projects, whether it's a TV show, etc., for over 5 years. I'm not saying that they're not passionate about it or that they just like would stop caring, because I do think that they very much so care, and we wouldn't have been getting these really good movies and projects if they didn't. But as creatives, as humans, I think they want to try other things. Jeff Fowler was tapped for like a live-action Pink Panther movie. That hasn't seen any development because he's stuck up with Sonic. Patrick Casey and Josh Miller, I'm sure, have a bunch of different scripts that they have the opportunity to work on that they can't right now because they're working on the Sonic movies. They said that writing Violent Night and Sonic 2 at the same time was kind of hell for them. I think that a lot of these people want to go move on and do some other projects. Maybe even some of the actors like Jim Carrey. I don't think he's gonna want to continue doing Sonic movies until his dying days. Paramount might find other ways to keep this thing going. I think they could do other movies. Maybe they can transition them into something that fans have been wanting, which I don't know if they'll do, we'll see, but maybe transitioning them into ultra-realistic, fully CG films, meaning they'd keep the designs, they'd keep the lore and stuff, but they'd kind of like phase out the human characters. I'm not saying this is something I want, I know it's something a lot of fans want, but giving the movies like subtitles, like Sonic The Adventures of Chaos, I don't know. That'd be an awful title, don't do that. But not numbering the films like Sonic Movie 1, 2, 3, changing kind of the style of the films, almost soft rebooting it in a way. Still keeping people like Ben Schwartz and some of the voice actors that you have, because once again, if these movies are successful for Paramount, there's no reason why they would stop. I don't think that this big corporate company is going to have the artistic integrity to stop a movie series where it needs to be stopped. And that could very well be the case for Sonic Movie 3. It could definitely deliver some finality to the series, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna stop, because if it makes them money, they're gonna keep going. Maybe some other ways that they could have this thing continue to go is a TV show. I'm not sure if they'd actually want to do that. It would not make them as much money as a film would, especially with Paramount Plus not really doing that hot right now. And their cable channels like Nickelodeon and stuff like that, cable's a dying format. So I'm not really sure if they'd really want to tap into that market as a way to continue this license. I think the only way forward is either continuing the movies or stopping altogether and rebooting in a few years. But if they were to reboot in a few years, what would you do? I feel like the only thing you really could do to make it different is making it fully CG in terms of style, or if it were to be live action, they'd have to do something also completely different. I don't know, we're at an interesting point with the Sonic movies to where if these stop, I feel like the landscape of the Sonic franchise is going to be very, very different. Living in the timeline, in the current era where the Sonic movie series is alive and thriving has been amazing. And I don't really want to think about what it would be like without it. Really, this channel, as it stands right now, has always been centered around the Sonic movies and kind of got its real start with the Sonic movie. So it's been a constant for me personally as a Sonic fan, as a full-time Sonic tuber. I hate that term. So I don't know if Sega would want to have a world without Sonic movies. I don't think Paramount would want to end something that's going good for them. So I could see this continuing. Yes, I could see there being more Sonic movies, but very, very different from the Sonic movies we have right now. New directors, new writers, maybe even some new voice actors, you never know. They're gonna find a way to continue this to go if Sonic Movie 3 does well. If Sonic Movie 3 bombs, if it does not do good, if they take the risk of going against Thunderbolts and Thunderbolts does do good, or the audience is split in half, so neither movie really makes that much money, that's a little dangerous. And maybe they're like, okay, it's time to move on now. I think this is the most interesting part we've been at when it comes to the Sonic movies. Sonic Movie 2 was just did so well that it opened the gates for these projects, but now these projects really have to like live up to the standard and just like continue the train going. So will Sonic Movie 3 be the end? Maybe. It very well could be. But I think that there's very strong reason that it could continue to go, but very different from what it was as it stands right now. But this is where I pass it off to you guys and ask what you think. What do you think about Sonic Movie 3 potentially being the last of the series? Or do you think the Sonic Movie franchise will continue to go beyond 3 and have Sonic 4 with Jeff Fowler and Pat Casey writing and all the actors returning? Or do you think it will be very different? Maybe not a CGI film, but maybe a different kind of live action energy with a new style because they're bringing in new people. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys have to say. Feel free to find my social media links to my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. You can follow those my on my life, future content, and don't think Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is the #1 destination on YouTube for all things Sonic. Whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, comic books, merchandise, and more, we talk about it all. This is the last video of June because it's June 30th I'm uploading this on, which means that by the time that you guys wake up tomorrow, it will be July. In July is Sonic Prime Time. We're around 2 weeks away, so get excited. There might be another trailer, there might be some more info that drops before the new episodes come out, and of course, when that happens, we'll be the first to get to it. Review the season, break down all the episodes, but that's not the end for Sonic this year, because we still have Sonic Superstars coming out later this year, and the Knuckles TV show, which we've already talked about here in this video. And then so many other amazing projects are in the works and are in the future that we are going to cover. This is the spot to be for all of that. You guys already know. I love all you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Wonder what you want right now, wonder what you want right now. Used to be about it, but used to be about it, about it. Counting all my blessings and count my dollars. Make it all better tomorrow. I'll tell you how, bro. If you